These are the three main manifolds that we'll be starting off with. The manifolds are all color coded, as well as the hoses. So there's really no wrong. You really can't put this together wrong if you just follow the color of the manifolds. The first manifold we're going to talk about is actually the manifold that connects to the pump. The reason that this is taken off and not in place is because once we have this all put together, it is actually hanging out in front of the cart, and if we ship it that way, we would run the risk of this getting snapped off or broken. Very simple. It's just a union joint on here, and all we have to do is get this lined up and tighten up this union. And that just needs to be hand tight with the manifold parallel to the ground. Make sure the valves are in the off position, and that's all there is to hooking that segment up. The next thing we're going to do is lay out the hoses. They're color coded, and what we're going to do is we're going to lay these out on the ground on both sides of the tank. And then we're going to take our two manifolds. Now, what's important here is that the yellow on both are facing towards the cart. If you find that you put them on backwards, it's not that big of a deal to change it, but if you can just remember that the yellow goes towards the cart, you'll be in good shape. Let me show you how these connect. All of the tanks, the bladder tanks, have a port with a plug in them. The plug keeps the tanks clean and doesn't allow dirt and things to get in, but you have to remove this plug. You can just set it off to the side, and then you want to take your manifold, your yellow pointing towards the tank, and simply get it started into the thread, and just screw it in by hand just until it starts to get snug. And as soon as it's snug, that's as tight as it needs to be. As you can see, we haven't used any tools or anything so far. Let's go ahead and put the manifold on the second tank. Again, locate the plug that's facing forward. Remove it. Get the thread started. As soon as it starts to tighten up and starts to get snug, that's as tight as it needs to be. Okay, locate the yellow end of the hose and connect it to the yellow side of the manifold. This is done by pulling these two tabs on the fitting, the quick connect fitting, forward, pushing the fitting into there and pulling these two back and snapping them in place. That locks this in place. These are called cam lock fittings. The way that you want to arrange this is with the handles, the levers facing forward, put the fitting inside, and just pull the levers back until it locks in place. As long as the handles or levers are straight back, it's locked in place, and that's as tight as it needs to be. And we're going to put the levers forward, pull them back, and lock that in place. Now this is where we might need to make a little bit of an adjustment so that the hose is laying clear. So we're going to pull this out so that we have a nice straight line. We're going to take the second hose, pull the levers forward, insert the fitting, pull the levers back and lock them in place. Locked in place. And adjust our tank. Straighten out the hose. If you were to measure in between here, you'll find approximately 13 feet between the two.